All right, let's just jump right in. If you're a sports fan, odds are everywhere, right? You can't escape them. But have you ever stopped to think about what those numbers actually mean? We're going to go on a little journey today, from just seeing the odds to really, truly decoding them.
So let me ask you something straight up. When you see the odds for a big game pop up on your screen, what's your gut reaction? Do you just nod and think, yep, sounds about right? Or are you the type to lean in a little and go, okay, but why? What's the story behind that number? That single question, well, that's pretty much the core of everything we're diving into here.
And this really breaks it down into two totally different ways of looking at things. You've got blind faith on one side. That's where you just take the numbers as gospel, You get swept up in the hype and you see the odds as a prediction of the future. But then there's the other path, critical thinking. This is all about looking for the context, actually digging into the data and realizing that what you're seeing isn't a guarantee, it's a probability.
So let's talk about that first approach, because let's be honest, it's where most of us start out. We'll call it odds as blind faith.
And look, it's totally natural, right? We see a team as the favorite and our brain just clicks, okay, they're going to win. We see the underdog and think, well, they're going to lose. It's a nice, neat little story. The only problem is reality is messy. It's almost never that simple. And when we think that way, we're missing like half the picture.
But what if we just shifted our perspective a little? Because this is where it gets really interesting and, honestly, a lot more powerful. Let's dig into what that new critical perspective actually looks like.
Okay, here it is, the big mindset shift. Odds are not a crystal ball. I'm going to say that again. They are not predicting the future. What they are is a snapshot in time. They're a picture of probability that's built on a whole bunch of data and a specific way of analyzing it. You got to think of it like a really, really educated guess, but it's still just one perspective, not a certainty.
So when you start thinking like this, you naturally start asking better questions. Like, who actually came up with these odds? What numbers are they looking at and what are they ignoring? Why that specific number? At the end of the day, it all boils down to this. The odds you see are just the answer spit out by a computer model. And every single model has its own quirks, its own biases, its own blind spots. Our job, as critical thinkers, is to try and figure out what those might be.
All right, so that's the big idea, the theory. Cool, but how do you actually do it? How do we make this real? Let's break down some simple, actionable steps you can literally start using today.
Step 1. Always question the source. Seriously, who's making these odds? What's their track record? Step 2. Look beyond the number. A spreadsheet can't measure team morale after a tough loss or how a last-minute injury is going to mess with team chemistry. That's where your human brain comes in. And number 3, and this one is absolutely crucial, you have to change the question you're asking. Stop asking, will they win? Instead, start asking, what's the real likelihood of this happening? And do these odds actually match up with that reality?
And this quote just nails it. The real art here isn't about being a psychic and predicting the winner. No way. It's about finding the value in the odds. The best in the business are looking for those little gaps, the space between what the odds say the probability is and what they believe the actual probability is. That little gap, that's everything. That's where the real insight is.
So you might be wondering why this matters so much right now. Why is this skill more important today than it was 10, even 5 years ago? Well, it's because the entire landscape of sports analytics is evolving at an absolutely insane speed.
I mean, just look at how far we've come. In the past, it was all about gut feeling and instinct. You know, the old school scout who just had a feeling about a player. Now, in the present, we're swimming in data with these incredibly advanced statistical models doing the heavy lifting. But the future? We're talking real-time AI. We're talking machine learning that can change the odds second by second during the game. It's a whole new world.
And here's the crazy part, the paradox of it all. As these computer models get smarter and more complex, so complex they become like a black box we can't even see inside, our ability to just blindly trust them has to go down, not up. It means we have to get smarter too. We have to get better at asking those tough questions, at seeing the limits of the data, and using our own human insight to add context to what the computer is telling us. Suddenly, critical thinking isn't just a nice skill to have. It becomes the most important tool in the box.
Which brings us to one last really fascinating question to leave you with. As the algorithms keep getting smarter, faster, and better than any single human brain, what's left for us? What's the future of human intuition? Does our gut feeling just become a relic of the past?
Or does it become the one thing, the only thing, that can help us find real meaning and real value in a world that's increasingly run by numbers? Definitely something to chew on.